What's up? Welcome to Clarence Sports Talkative Jones, presented by PlayProgressGo.com. Happy Black History Month. All right, I'm rocking my shirt today, Black History shirt today. That's what I'm rocking in the studio. If you're on the YouTube channel, hope Black History Month is going good for you so far. Hopefully, you're learning a lot. Every year for me, when it comes to Black History Month, I always learn something new every single year. I always try to challenge myself to get right on some new information when it comes to Black History Month. Okay. Social media platforms, follow me, I'll follow you back. It's a two-way street, not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. You can follow me on Twitter, X at underscore Clarence Jones, Instagram underscore Clarence Jones, YouTube, Clarence Jones TV. Check out the website, www.playprogressgo.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Black History Month. Like I said, happy Black History Month. Um, and I'm getting into it today. I'm getting down to it. Really preaching some very important information that we all should know, especially if we're Black coaches all over the world. Whether you're professional, Black coach, or you're semi-pro, your youth league coach, your middle school, Pop Warner, you name it. This for all the Black coaches. Listen up today. Instead of us, voice, like I said, all week long, I've been hearing a lot of people making strong cases about Black coaches and why this and why that. But I'm coming today with I want to say a solution. I'm coming with a solution today, not just complaining or saying what's not fair. I'm coming with a solution, a prevention that I think we all should do and try to better the situation. This has been happening for many, many years now with Black coaches. Black just Black coaches not getting opportunities, not opportunities that they've earned. They're not getting hired, and like I said, that's what today's episode is about. If I had to describe one song that can define today's episode, which is episode 156, it would be Tupac Changes, the chorus. More like the chorus, not the lyric. 'Cause I think Changes got three lyrics with three verses. Tupac song Changes got three verses. But if I had to pick one song, I'll pick the chorus from Tupac Changes to describe today's podcast. Just to give you a idea of what I'm going to be hitting on today. All right, so I want to start off by saying it's Black History Month. Okay. And, out of the 10 head coaching positions that were available in the NFL, it was 10 head coaching openings in the NFL. No Black head coach was hired. Okay. One minority was hired, Robert Salah. But as far as 100% Black African American head coach, no head coach been hired out of the 10 jobs that were available. And that's a wake up call. What I mean? It's a wake up call for me, and I'm sure it's a wake up call for you and all the Black communities with Black coaches. It's a wake up call. Okay. Um, it's a wake up call because it's weird, it's crazy, don't seem right, don't feel right. This is Black History Month, and not one head coach that's Black that been hired. You know, it's ridiculous. I don't understand it. And it just makes you want to go above and beyond to really go to the extent on not just NFL head coaches is dealing with this. We in the community, Black coaches are dealing with this. We not getting opportunities that we feel we may have earned. We may have been that Pop Warner coach for a long time. We may have been that middle school coach for a long time. And somehow, some way, we can't get into high school. Why? So many reasons why I guess I'm gonna get into it. Today's gonna be a good episode, a good, helpful thinking episode. So when, like I said, 10 openings, no Black head coaches hired. And the first thing that hits my mind is why. You know what I mean? And when it comes to why, we all got a lot of answers to why. We all have a lot of answers to why. There's some people that got their own reasons for why. And let's get into it. Um, you let others tell it, mean other black people. Some black people, is we all got different views on this, on why black head coaches not getting hired. Like I said, this is not just only on a professional level. I'm talking about from professional to all the way down from Pop Warner to elementary to middle school, all in the community of coaching. If you're a black coach and you put in that time to coach and you really want to, expand your career, this is for you. This is for me. This episode is for us. Okay. Now you let others tell it. Some may say some right reasons. Some may say wrong reasons. Some may say crazy reasons. Some may even make up some lies. Believe it or not, some would tell the untruth. Some will use the victim mentality, unfortunately. Seriously. And it just like, from victim mentality, some will even go further to say it's racist. Race and race cards and some pulling the race card. Keep in mind, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. If you're a black coach, you're entitled to your own opinion. Whatever you think on why the NFL didn't hire a black head coach, or why you may have some experience in your community where you're not getting opportunity, where you felt like you coached kids from when they were Pop Warner, now they in high school, and you trying to grow with that team, that group of players that you coached when they was in Pee Wee football, and for somehow way, they're not getting you in. They're not giving you an opportunity. You're not getting in. I mean, keep in mind, like I said, there's no wrong answers on how you feel, because we are entitled to their own opinion. But all I say is, when you speak in your mind, keep it, keep it, keep it real. You know, keep it real. Don't, because I think pulling the race card and the victim card, I think for me, I don't go that route. I don't go that route. Not anymore. I used to way back, and I'm gonna get into that in a few, but I've learned over the years, it's not race, it's not about race card, it's not about playing the victim. You go into these interviews, or you get an interview and you don't get the opportunity, it can come off to you as, oh, it's I'm the victim, or I gotta put a race card, or it is racist. It can come off like that. But like I said, there's no wrong answers on this. You're entitled to your own opinion on why you think you're not being hired in your community as a black coach, or you may have your take on a professional level of black coaching in NFL. You may feel like this is why they're not getting that opportunity. Okay. But like I said, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. All right. But at the same time, we got to also keep in mind everyone have the right to speak their minds. All right. Your thoughts, your beliefs, etc. You have the right to speak your mind on why you feel like your black coaches, or other black coaches you may know that have worked hard in the communities, work hard maybe from middle school to high school, and they're just not getting a D3 opportunity, the D2 opportunity, you know? Now, what I can say is this here. Like I said, when it comes to beliefs, thoughts, ideas, your opinions, you're entitled to speak your mind. Don't let anyone change your mind on what you think in your mind as a black head coach. You don't have to be a coach. You could be a supporter of black coaches. Your husband, your wife, your son, your daughter, your nephew, your cousin, your uncle could, your aunt could all be a black head coach, and they may have not getting the opportunity that you feel like they deserve. So this is for everybody. This is for us all. Okay. Now, I've even heard black people made jokes about this, about not getting opportunities, whether it's professional or not professional, like I say, in the community, semi-pro, and jokes and comedy about this. And I don't think we need to go that route. We shouldn't go that route. That's we should joking and making comedy skits about this. are laughing about it, it's not laughable. There's nothing to joke about. We talking about hard earned work resumes that been built over the years from teaching kids and mentoring kids, and we trying to grow with the team. We trying to get in advancement promotion places so we can be able to expand our knowledge and expand our help, expand our teaching, but we're stuck at just you're only this. We only see you as this, a position coach. Hey, we only see you as an assistant. While we're trying to get the head opportunities, like I say, from don't matter. You're trying to go from, like I say, Pee Wee Pop Warner football to middle school to high school to high school to college to the professional. This is for us all. We're trying to grow, we're trying to advance so we can be able to help a whole lot. Okay, a whole lot, like a whole like variety of kids and athletes that we're trying to help. We're not trying to stay at one level. So when you're putting jokes and comedy into this, that's not what it is. That's not cool. I'm not with that. But like I said, you want to voice your opinion on it, speak your mind. Even if you think it's racist or you think, it's a victim mentality, do that. But like I said, what I'm going to talk about is this here. I used to be that. I used to be in that mix of, like I say, pulling a race card, uh, having a victim mentality on, hey, it's because this, it's because that, this is because of how I look, because I got a beard. I've been through a lot of coaching interviews throughout my time here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I've been at several high schools from football to basketball, and I've been on interviews for 1 to 2 to 3 hours and shake hands and smile, at people, and I meet people, and we had time to talk. I met players that's a part of that school that I could possibly be working with. I've had second interviews, I've had third interviews from the same variety of schools. And when it all said and done, I didn't get offered the job, you know? And that's where the old me used to come in at. Meaning I would come in and, like I say, present myself professional. And like I said, I'd be on these interviews for 3 and 4 or 5 hours, you know, talking about the possibility of what the program could be like, laying out my philosophy. And I didn't get the opportunity. And like I say, the anger would come out of me. I would call, the athletic directors that interviewed me, I'll call the staff administration and say, hey, what is it? Why didn't I got the opportunity? Why didn't I got offered? And they would just be, we found, it'd be the general, we found a coach that's more connected to the team or the philosophy. But I always felt in my mind that it could just be the way I look, the way I talk, the way I walk, maybe I look intimidating. That's what used to come to my mind. And that's why I used to sometimes pull the victim mentality. Like, I'm a victim, I'm a black man, I'm in the community, I'm trying to coach, I want to advance. And you're not, allowing me to do that. You know, also been on the same page where it's just, hey, we can bring you on, but you'll just be the seventh, the sixth, the fifth coach on the bench, way down on the bench. Hey, you can be a position coach if there's anything available. But when it comes to coordinators or head coach, it was tough for me. And like I say, the old me years ago would be just like the way you probably feel right now, where you want to pull the race card or you want to pull the victim mentality and feel like you're a victim. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with that. What I'm saying is when I did it, from my experience, it ain't got me anyway. It ain't got me anywhere. It got me apologies. I mean, a lot of people that that interviewed me back then, like I said, I called them and I've gotten apologies from several administrators and athletic directors over the years that, hey, I didn't handle the interview right, Clarence. I'm sorry. I led you on, or I should have gave you opportunity. See what you're doing now. So I've gotten apologies, and I've given out apologies. I've called, previously a year ago, 2, 3 years ago, and said, hey, I apologize. I'm sorry for the way that I responded after not getting offered. I apologize for what I sent you in the email. I apologize for my tone or how, And keep in mind, apologizing doesn't mean that, oh, well, they was right, they shouldn't have hired me. What I realized is I had to apologize and I had to forgive those administrators, those the athletic directors, even though they don't look like me, even though they don't talk like me. I still had to forgive them. Why I had to forgive them? Because if I didn't forgive them, I'm blocking my blessing. I won't get any blessing if I'm still holding that grudge, or if I'm still walking around with the victim mentality, or if I'm still willing to pull the race card year after year after year and keep talking bad about that school or bad about that athletic director because they didn't hire me or they didn't offer me. If I'm holding on to all that, I'm basically blocking out my own blessing. I won't receive no blessing from God. Any blessing that God have for me in the future, if I'm still holding on to the victim mentality as a black man and as a black head coach, I'm not going to get any blessings. I'm not going to get any opportunities. That anger, my victim mentality, my race card that I'm pulling, it's going to hold me back. So I'm apologizing not to be friends with these administrators, not to be friends with these athletic directors or whoever may interview me that didn't offer me or didn't hire me. I'm apologizing so I can get blessings down the line, whether that's blessings in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or blessings outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Wherever God may have my blessing at, I don't want to block that by being angry and keep talking about I'm a black man and I won't. They don't give me an opportunity and they racist and look how they look at me and they only want to hire their kind. If I keep all that in my brain and I carry that every day, 7 days a week, I'm never going to grow. I'm never going to learn. I'm never going to progress. I'm just going to be a person, basically just a victim mentality. Keep talking about how they did me wrong and how they did this and how this ain't right. I didn't want to do that because the bigger picture is getting a blessing from God, a coaching opportunity to have my own LLC and be able to help kids all over the world, be able to help athletes all over the world, be able to help and work with other coaches, whether they black, white, orange, pink, yellow, brown, it don't matter, blue, green, orange, it don't matter. Like I say, so that's why for me, that didn't work for me. It may work for you. Like I said, I'm not trying to get on this episode today and tell you how to behave as a black head coach, whether you're a female or male, you're a black coach in the community. You've gotten awards, you've gotten trophies, you've won championships, you've helped gotten kids into college, D1, D2, D3. I'm not telling you how to carry yourself as a black head coach. I'm only telling you from my experiences. And like I said, I get it. It hurts when you be in those interviews for hours and you shaking hands and you laughing. You think you guys are on the same page, and you kind of find out you get an email. Most time it was email. It wasn't even calls. Most time it would be emails. We're moving on to another candidate. It tore me up because I invested a lot into these interviews. Like I said, I walk around campuses, I visit football fields and basketball courts and weight room facilities. And like I said, we laugh, we talk. I shared my my background, my resume, everything. I don't get it. So I know how it's so easy to be anger and pull the race card and pull the black victim mentality. I know it because I've been in it. I've done it. You know, I've done it. And it made me mad. It took me a long time to start calling these formal well, some people now in different positions, some not even athletic directors no more, but or even in administration anymore. But you get what I'm saying? It took me a while to say, hey, let me be the bigger person, make a call, send out an email, and apologize. It took me a while to get there. But like I said, what made me do it, it wasn't for them. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't apologizing so I can be friends with them and they can say, hey, I want to change my mind. I want to hire Coach Jones. No, I apologize so I can receive my blessings from God. Whatever God got in store for me, I didn't want to mess that up by still holding on to the victim mentality and the race card. So for those of you that's still doing that, I'm not telling you to do it or stop doing it. I'm just telling you my experience. Now, if you ask me what I think you should do, I would tell you don't do it. Don't carry that victim mentality. black man, black woman. I'm a head coach. I'm in my community. I'm doing all this for the athletes in the community, all at schools, and they ain't noticing me. If you handle that all with anger and frustration, and you go on your social media, you go on different platforms, and you talk about these schools or you talk about these administrators, and you're cursing, you're yelling, you're crying, you just full of anger. You're gonna block your blessing. You're gonna block what God have in store for you. God have something bigger for you. If they didn't want to hire you, if they don't think you're a great fit for their school or their program, don't worry about it. Let it go. Smile and walk on. Because at the end of the day, God has the last say. And that means God have a bigger plan for you, a bigger coaching plan for you. Now, the bigger coaching plan don't mean He gonna get me to the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball. No, it can mean that, but it could just mean something better, where you become a head coach at a high school, a head coach at a D3, D2, D1. Maybe you become the principal and the head coach. Maybe you become an athletic director. The plan could be so much bigger if you just let it go, forgive. You can talk about it. It's okay to vent. It's okay to get your point across. But when we put that anger into it and those curse words and those threats, and we're ruining people's reputation by calling them racist, and when we're doing all that and we're talking about programs and we're saying that program is racist and they don't like black people or they don't want to hire black coaches, we're blocking our blessings away from God. God is going to take our blessings away. He's going to pause our blessing. He's going to take it away. He's going to have our blessings on pending because we're giving all that anger and all that energy that's not needed to the wrong people, to the wrong programs. We may think we may be a good fit for that program or that school. They may not. And it's okay to disagree. What we don't want to do is turn into the anger and the races. I'm a black man. I'm a black woman. I'm a great coach. I got awards, and everybody talk great about me. And I've helped kids get into colleges, and kids have came to me, and I've helped kids got out of several situations. I did too. I had a lot of players. I have players come to me today and talk to me about, hey, Coach Jones, I'm going through this, and I'm giving out advice. I'm calling players I used to coach. How you doing? You okay? Hey, Coach, you made a great positive impact on my life. I get that to this day. I've been coaching since the age of 21, and I've grown since 21. I'm 35 now, and I've grown throughout my coaching years. I'm still coaching. I'm going to be coaching for life. And throughout my coaching progress, I'm learning to be better. I'm learning to think better. I'm learning to grow. I'm learning to be more mature, each and every month, every year. How can I be a better coach? How can I think better? How can I see things differently? Other than I'm a black man, I'm a black head coach. I'm a victim, or it's racist. I'm gonna put my race card. I've gotten out of that zone, that mentality. And I pray that you think about this and you can get out of it as well, so you can receive your bigger blessings from God. All right. Now, another thing I want to talk about is staying on this topic. Like I said, when you get upset, when it comes to not getting that opportunity, always keep in your mind, hey, it's gonna be something better for me. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't a great fit, And you gotta trust that things gonna get better. You can't give up on coaching. You gotta trust that opportunity is coming. You must do that. Being mad every single day because you didn't get that opportunity, you didn't get hired, or that league, you feel like that league is racist, or you pulling the victim mentality. I'm a black head coach. You making threats, you cursing people out, you ruining people's reputation. You saying they're this, they're racist and all that, just because they didn't hire you. That's not going to get us nowhere. That's not going to get us anywhere. All right. So what I want to say is this here. Just learn and let it go. When it comes to opportunities, we're going to get some we're not going to get. There's ways to handle it. Ain't nothing wrong with voicing your opinion, having a meeting in the community about how many black coaches that have been let go, or for some, for small reasons, or how many black head coaches didn't got the opportunity because of this. That I didn't like how they did that coach at that school. They was wrong for that. Ain't nothing wrong with hosting, rallies and meetings about this. Going on strikes, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Do that. But at the same time, realize there's more blessings ahead of you. You got a lot of blessings ahead of you if you handle this the right way. Do your petitions, do your rallies, do your meetings, make a YouTube page, make a podcast about it, write about it. But at the same time, while you're doing that, understand you got blessings that's waiting on you. If you can forgive, let it be. Forgive, understand, and move on, because you got a bigger thing that's coming up in your coaching career. And like I said, it don't matter. It's not always about the NFL, the NBA, being a professional coach. You may get that big opportunity, like I said, to be an athletic director and a coach, to be a principal, to be over basketball operations, to be over football operations. You can be the head coach of any program, and you can bring in people that look like you and that don't look like you and give opportunities. That's the way we must think. All right. Now that led me to this here. No longer focusing on why the NFL not hiring black head coaches. Okay, I'm not focused on that. I'm used to it. It's been happening since I started watching football. I started watching football in 1998. And I'm no longer on that why the NFL not hiring black head coaches. If you watch football, if you're a fan of NFL, you're used to this already. We are used to not having enough black coaches, or not having a lot of black head coaches, for several reasons. And it grow on us, basically. Okay. When it comes to, like I say, my local community, why my local community is different for me and other black coaches to get opportunities. Just told you why. You know, it's just the way it is. Like I said, going back to what I said at the beginning of the podcast, if I had to, describe one song, one chorus that be from Tupac Changes, it is the way it is. Is it right? Is it acceptable? No, hell no. But I just gave you the blueprint on how to handle these challenges, these hardships. I just gave you the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? I'm no longer, like I say, letting that bring me down. My only focus right now is just not messing up my blessings as a black head coach, making sure I'm watching my words everywhere I go. I'm carrying myself as I'm a professional, because I am one. So I'm not going to let a few programs or a few administrators or a few rejections, or how many it may be. Maybe it's not a few, maybe it's a lot. I'm not going to let that dictate my coaching career as a black head coach. My dream as a black head coach is just to help athletes grow, help athletes succeed. My dream is not to be in NFL or NBA. If God takes me there, or if He takes me to D1 or D2 to D3 college basketball or college football, I'm thankful for it. But that's not my goal. My goal is just to be in a situation, to have authority where I can be able to help athletes succeed, student athletes succeed and grow, help them reach their dreams. If I do that, if I can do that for one athlete, I'm thankful. I'm happy, you know? So let's make sure we setting our standards the right way as a black head coach. Someone's setting our standards a little too high. Hey, if I don't get this by this year, it's a failure. If I don't become the coach of the year, it's a failure. If I don't get that promotion to be from a position coach to a coordinator, it's a failure. No, don't do that. All these things that you're doing is great progress. Your athletes made it to college. That's a great progress. You got a promotion. Maybe it's not the promotion you want. That's progress. Keep track of those things. Those things can help your coaching career be better. You can feel better about your coaching career knowing you're making progress. It don't matter how small the progress is or how big it is. Never take that progress for granted. Don't do that. You're hurting yourself. Okay. Now, like I say, when it comes to why, Why black coaches ain't getting hired in professional sports? Why didn't no black coach got hired this year in the NFL? Why ain't the black coaches, include me in my community, not getting opportunities to coach at these high schools? We can compete with all the other coaches that's white or whoever. We can compete with all those coaches. Why we ain't getting opportunities? Not fair. Blah blah blah. We're doing all this. We're mad. We're playing the victim. We're saying they're racist. We're pissed off. We on social media cursing. We're ready to fight. That's not the right way to do it. Today's episode is about what needs to be done. Okay? What needs to be done? Finding a solution to this problem that should have been solved, right? That's what I'm focusing on. And that's what I want you to focus on as well. Finding a solution. What to do, what needs to be done to make changes to what's been happening for many, many, many years throughout sports when it comes to black head coaches. What needs to be done, what should be done, what must be done, a solution. Instead of being angry and being upset and making threats and cursing and, calling out people and ruining people's reputation that don't look like us, I don't want you to do that. We got to focus on solutions. What needs to be done, what must be done to make this a better environment for us black head coaches. Not saying it's going to be a guarantee solve, but I always figure instead of all this why this, why that, or saying someone's racist or the league is racist or they racist or he racist or she racist, let's get a solution to this. It may not be, like I said, fixable 100%, but we can always make changes. We can always make improvements. All right. And my thoughts is this here. The problem is this here. When it comes to coaching opportunities, when it comes to advancement and promotions and really making a change at coaching in the black community, you know what the problem is? We're not creating opportunities for ourselves. We spending too much time complaining about what ain't right and who ain't hired me or my staff, or I know I can coach better than that coach. He trash. He garbage. Look at my plays. Look at what I accomplished. Instead of doing that, we're not creating opportunities for ourselves, meaning creating opportunities for yourself, meaning growing as a head coach. From a position coach to a coordinator to a head coach, you create opportunities. And you know what happens when you create opportunities for yourself? You know what happens? You create opportunities for your sons, your family, your friends, and other black coaches in the community. When you focus on creating an opportunity for yourself and you taking the right path, you're not looking at the race card or the black coach mentality, you're a victim. They didn't hire me. They didn't like how I look. They didn't like how I talk. They look at how I dress. I got a beard. They don't like how I walk. I got a gold chain on. When you start that progress, you're not going to see it. But when you look at it the opposite way, meaning, how could I make a positive out of this negative? Because don't get me wrong, it is negative. When there's stereotype going on and misjudgment going on because you're a black coach in that interview and you made just the way you sound or the way you talk or the way you look, the way your hair look, all that, that's negative. That's wrong. It's not right at all. Okay? So when you take that negative that's not right and you put a positive in it, you can find yourself create opportunities for your sons, family, friends, and other black coaches, your daughters, whoever that wants to be a coach. You create opportunities. All right. And when you create opportunities, you can be able to hire. Whether you want to hire all black staff, or you want to hire all minority staff, or you want to hire a mixture of white, minority, black, Mexican, Indian, Asian, you do that. You do that and you do it with praise. You do it with proud because you create an opportunity for yourself. You turn that negative over here from those people, that administrator that judge you on how you talk and look and dress and how you sound and how you think and how you react and how you respond, your demeanor. You turn that negative into a positive where you were able to open up doors for your family, friends, sons, daughters, other black coaches. other minority coaches, other white coaches, Asian coaches that all been through the same cycle where they just want an opportunity that they feel they earn based off their resume and their effort. When you think positive, when you turn that negative into a positive, you create opportunities for yourself and others. That's what I like about this. Okay. And that's all I'm saying here. All right. So going back to the NFL, I thought about this last night as I'm prepping the show. And I'm like, going back to no black head coaches been hired. There were 10 openings. And I said, you know what? Something that we're not looking at. We may have talked about it, small, takes here and there, but when you look at coaches like, and stay with me here, just think about this as I'm saying it. When you look at former and current head coaches like Mike Shanahan, then you got Kyle Shanahan. Okay. You hear Buddy Ryan. Then you hear Rex Ryan. Then you hear Rob Ryan. You hear John McVay. Then you hear Sean McVay. Look at the Mannings. To their dad. You think of Eli and Peyton. Clarence, I don't get you. What are you trying to say, man? I'm confused. It's a family coaching tree. It's a family coaching tree. Now, of course, Manning and Peyton not Eli and Peyton not coaching, but if they want to get into coaching, they can get into it because of their dad. It's a family coaching tree is what I'm trying to tell you. Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, Buddy Ryan, Rob Ryan, Rex Ryan, John McVay, Sean McVay, just to name a few. When you got a family coaching tree like that, there's a growth. There's a creative opportunity in the NFL. My dad coached, my grandfather coached, my dad played. When you got that opportunity like that, it makes it, I ain't gonna say easy, but the path is a little better. I would like to think it's a better path, it's a better journey when you already got that family coaching tree that's a part of your history. Look at Jesse Minter, head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, his dad coached. Like whether your dad, your grandfather may have coached in college or high school or professionals, you got a tree, a family coaching tree. And unfortunately for us black head coaches, especially black coaches that's in the NFL, a lot of black coaches in the NFL, I could be wrong on this. I'm giving you my opinion. I don't have any source on this. I didn't look anything up. I'm giving you my real, mind right now. A lot of black coaches in the league right now, that's coordinators and that's position coaches, a lot of them don't have, if not all, don't have family coaching trees. And that's another reason why it's hard to become a head coach, a black head coach in the NFL, because there's no black family coaching trees. You look at Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan. Look how that has worked out for Kyle Shanahan because of his dad. Not saying that Kyle got the job because of his dad, because Kyle worked hard to be where he at. It's not because his dad. But when it comes to getting his career started and getting the journey and learning the game at a young age, his dad taught him. Sean McVay, head coach of the Rams. His grandfather was in the business way before he even been born. He learned, he grew, he studied his grandfather. Made a path to the league. Rob Ryan and Rex Ryan, Buddy Ryan, their dad, got into coaching, taught them the game. They learned from it and grown. So, Clarence, what you trying to say, man? Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay and Rob and Rex Ryan just had it easy? Like I said, no. Everything that they've earned and they've gotten and they receive, they've been part of, they achieve in their coaching career, they earn it on their own. It has nothing to do with their dads or their grandfather. What it does have to do with their dads and grandfather is they taught them the game at a young age. They made an opportunity, even when Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan or Rob or Rex Ryan probably didn't know what they wanted to do growing up. Maybe like when they were real small, when they were real, little kids. And you grow up and you be a teenager and you see your dad, your grandfather, you read about your grandfather, and you just say, I want to do what dad's doing. That's what I'm saying. I give them credit for that. But all the work that Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay has done, they earned that on their own. Okay, nothing was given to them. Oh man, they was given opportunity because of their dads and their grandfather. No, now they earned that spot. What I'm trying to tell you is Mike Shanahan, Buddy Ryan, John McVay, they gave them the blueprint. Jesse mentions that. They gave them the blueprint. They taught them the blueprint. And it was up to Kyle Shanahan. It was up to Sean McVay. It was up to Rex Ryan and Rob Ryan to take that blueprint and make a career out of it. And when you do that, when you take the blueprint from your fathers or your mentors or your grandfather, whoever may have been in the game of coaching, and you make it a career, you create a family tree. A family coaching tree has been created. And you give thanks to the family coaching tree of the people that started it, meaning Mike Shanahan, Buddy Ryan, John McVay. They started. Even Lane Kiffin dad got into coaching. What's his name? Monte Kiffin? Yeah, Monte Kiffin. He also got into coaching, got Lane Kiffin started. So these fathers that had these sons that became successful coaches, these fathers created the blueprint for their sons. They taught them the blueprint. And they create a family coaching tree. And that's a great way to get a head coaching job, to earn a head coaching job, to be hired in the NFL. But going to us black head coaches that's in the NFL, most, if not all, don't have a family coaching tree, which makes it tough. Very tough. It's a family tree. It's a coaching tree. A coaching tree that us black coaches don't have. A lot of black football players that played the game of football, that made it to the professional level, NFL, that's Hall of Fames. The Hall of Famers, a lot of these black great players on both sides of the ball, they made the Hall of Fame. Whether they made the Hall of Fame or not, they played the game of football. Because coaching not always about did you play it. Bill Belichick never played NFL, but he's the greatest coach of all time. So it's not always about the black players that have played it, whether they made it to the Hall of Fame or not, or whether they was great or not. What I'm saying is the black coaches that played in the game of football, played NFL, there's no family coaching tree after that. After their success, after they retired, there ain't no black head coaches in the league. As far as I know, that has a family coaching tree. A lot of these players, they have sons, they have daughters, and they sons and daughters going to do other things with their life, which is nothing wrong with that. But I'm just telling you, I'm comparing it to the Shanahans, the McVays, the Lane Kiffin, Monte Kiffin, the Ryans, and the Mannings. That's a family tree, a family coaching tree. Like I said, if Eli and Peyton want to get into coaching, they get in. Oh, because of their dad? No, they played the game. Their dad just made the blueprint. Their dad gave them the blueprint. Okay? We black coaches, black coaching in the NFL, there's no black coaching tree. There's no black family coaching tree. Man, Jerry Rice's son, or whoever you name, just think about it. Think about all the great players or just players that played in the game. Whether they were great or not, they played 7 seasons and they were solid. They were solid players, average players. Man, Michael Irvin's son, what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's in the coaching, or like I said, Jerry Rice's son's in the coaching. When you don't get that going in the league as black coaches in the NFL, it's going to be hard to get in the game and, get the blueprint or be trusted. It's going to be hard to be trusted. When Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay and Lane Kiffin, Rex Ryan, Rob Ryan walk into an interview, you can bet your last dollar that interview is part of that interview, if not majority, some of it going to be about, man, your dad, Mike Shanahan. Man, your dad, Buddy Ryan. Man, your dad, Monte Kiffin. Man, your grandfather, John McVay. They're gonna be in the interview discussion, whether they're present or not. The work that they did for the football business is gonna be brought up in the interview to a Kyle Shanahan, to a Sean McVay, to a Lane Kiffin, to a Buddy Ryan, to a Rex Ryan, to a Rob Ryan, based off their dad, Buddy Ryan. So that's a tree. And when that tree gets to going in the interviews, it makes owners more comfortable. Like, hey, I can hire this Mike Shanahan. I can hire this Sean McVay. I can hire this Rex Ryan and Rob Ryan. Their dad was great. Their dad, the grand, you know what I mean? When it comes to the black coaches, the black head coaches, that doesn't exist, unfortunately. And that's what needs to change. That's what we need to change. And how do we change it? The only way to change it is just hopefully today's generation of black players, they have sons, they can be able to teach their sons the game. Maybe they can get into coaching after retirement. The players that's playing today, maybe after they're done playing, maybe they can get into coaching. When they get into coaching, they teach their sons and daughters how to get into coaching. You know, whether that's football, that's baseball, that's softball, whatever it may be. It don't have to be football. But you see what I'm saying? That's how you start a family coaching tree. When you retire, you get into coaching, you learn it, and then you pass it down to your sons, your like I said, your daughters, your brother, your cousin, your whoever wants to learn. You pass it down. Other black coaches or other coaches that's not black that want to learn the game. That's how you create a family coaching tree. But like I say, that hurt us as well in the professional league as far as NFL go. Think about how many black coaches in the league, and think about how many black coaches that have played the game several seasons ago. How many actually got into coaching after they retired? How many tried it? How many stayed in it where they can be able to pass it down to their next assistant coach, their family, their son? How many have done that? Not a lot. You know, like I said, even like I say, when it comes to coaching the sport, it don't have to be football. You know, I think Kevin Stefanski from Atlanta Falcons, majority of his family was basketball, NBA, and he got it in the NFL. So if you're into coaching, you may have a daughter that wants to coach college basketball. You may have a son that wants to coach college basketball. Just because you coach football doesn't mean that they want to choose football. Or they may want to choose football. Who knows? What I'm saying is a family coaching tree needs to be formed for us to get better opportunities at the professional level. That's what I'm saying here. But like I say, it would help if we had black players, once they retired, got into coaching. Oh, all that, they play in the league, they get into coaching, and they passing it on. They help building a family tree, a coaching tree, a black coaching tree. When you're a player and you retire, you get into coaching, and you've been in the game for a while, and you bringing on new people, you hiring people, you teaching people. That's how you create a family tree, a family coaching tree. A family coaching tree not always being related. It can be, but it just, hey, we're family here. We're learning. I've been with this coach for 10, 12, 15 years, and I learned a lot up under this coach. Okay? So that's the coaching tree. But like I said, the family part comes in at it, where, like I said, you got your father. Hey, my dad did it. My grandpa did it. My cousin was a coach. My uncle was a coach. So I got into it. That's how the family, tree is formed. Your coaching tree is formed when it's, you're helping bring on new coaches. You're teaching them. You're writing recommendation letters for them. You're helping them get the opportunity. You're building a coaching tree. They're taking what you taught them and they're going to other places and they being successful at it. That's how the coaching tree is formed. But the family coaching tree is what we lacking a lot at the professional level as black head coaches. Like I said, think about all the great black players that play in the league that's retired. How many of them got into coaching after they retired? Most of them go to broadcasting and they have a career out of that. A lot of them don't do the coaching after they're done. Mike Shanahan coach. John McVay was in the football business. He know the game. Buddy Ryan coach, Monte Kiffin coach. How many black players retired and got into coaching and was able to make a family coaching tree out of it? Not a lot, if not none. That's a problem that we need to look at moving forward. Get into coaching, do it. Create that family tree, create that coaching tree. But when you got fathers that's already created the blueprint, it's an advantage for the white coaches. Their dad, like I say, the Mike Shanahan, the Buddy Ryans, the Monte Kiffin, the John McVay, they created an advantage for their sons and grandson, and it's not wrong. Oh, it's not fair, Clarence. No, you can't do that. You can't say that. Because we as black coaches, our fathers had the same opportunity as well if they played in the game. If they played in the game, if they've been part of the game, they could have got into coaching as well. If they made it to the NFL and they had a solid season, they had the same opportunity as a Mike Shanahan did for Kyle Shanahan, or Buddy Ryan did for Rob and Rex Ryan, or Monte Kiffin did for his son Lane Kiffin. If your dad made it to the league, played a solid 7, 8, 9 seasons, maybe 5 seasons, maybe 4 seasons, maybe 12 seasons, your dad had the opportunity to create a family coaching tree as well. Maybe your dad just didn't want to be in the coaching. Maybe your grandfather didn't want to do the coaching. Maybe they found a better life outside of playing the game. Is they wrong for that? No. I'm just telling you how family coaching tree is formed. The blueprint is made. And like I say, a lot of black retired players, they don't get into coaching after they done and really build a coaching tree. Hey, my son is thinking about coaching. I'm going to have him be my quality coach. I'm going to have him be my position coach. Look at Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick got what, 2 sons that's in the coaching? I think they coach college. But when Bill Belichick was with the Patriots, they were coaching with him and the Patriots. You build that family coaching tree. Like I said, black coaches, we don't have that. We don't have that, unfortunately. Well, we can start it. If you're at the professional level, you can start it. Even if you're at the local high school, you may have a son that want to get into it. Still teach your son, even if you don't make it to the league. If you made it to high school and you got your son grown up and he's watching you coach, still teach him. Still teach him. Still let him, progress what you've learned. Pass it down to him. Pass him the blueprint. Show him how you did it. How you started from Pee Wee to Pop Warner to elementary to middle school. And now you got the high school. Maybe high school is your only, level that you earn. Maybe that's the only route you've gotten to. You can still create a family coaching tree out of that. You don't got to be Mike Shanahan and John McVay and Buddy Ryan and Monte Kiffin to create your family coaching tree in your local community. I advise you to do it. If I had kids, I would do it. It's not always about making it to the top level. But like I said, going back and thinking about those 10 college openings and thinking about those coaches, those black coaches that didn't got the opportunity to be hired, it makes me go back and think further beyond, like way back, like, you know what? There's just not a lot of, there's no black family coaching tree. Like I said, I could be wrong on this. I'm going to do my homework again, but on the NFL standpoint, all I see is a lot of white family coaching trees. The Shanahans, the Ryans, the Kiffins, the Belichicks, and others. The Mentors, Jesse Mentor's dad. There's not, if not all, there's no black head coaching family tree. If that was available in the league, it'll be a lot more black head coaches getting hired. But like I say, it's an advantage for the white coaches with the, because they dads create the blueprint, but it doesn't give us the right to be mad at the Shanahans, the Ryans, the Kiffins, the Belichicks, the Manners. No. Because remember, I tell you, being mad and playing the victim, that's going to get us to a point where we're not going to get any opportunities. We're going to be missing out on our blessings from God. You know what I'm saying? But just think about that. Think about what I just said. If we had retired players, whether they played in the 80s, they played in the 70s, they played in the 60s, they played in the 90s, or they played in the early 2000s, they retired and they got into coaching and they were good at it. That's a way to create a family coaching tree, you know? But we don't have that yet. I hope we get it. I hope it gets started. But it just makes me think, like, damn, what if coaches from the 70s, 80s, and 90s really opened up doors, decided to get into coaching, were good at it, and they just creating a whole bunch of family coaching trees? That will be something great to talk about. That we can be in that same boat with the Shanahans and the Ryans and the Kiffins and the Mannings and the Belichicks. That would be so great to talk about. I think the league will be balanced then. If there were a family coaching tree on a black side of coaching. Seriously. All right. Now, some will probably say some probably was offered to being a passing coordinator or a position coach and probably got declined. Meaning some probably was offered to coach, but it was probably only just to be a passing coordinator or position coach, and they probably declined. But I recommend you take any opportunity that you're offered as a coach. You may want the head coach opportunity as a black head coach, but they say, hey, we can only offer you a position coach, or you can be our passing game coordinator. You can be our offense coordinator. You could be our defense coordinator. You could be our linebacker coach. You could be our running back coach. You can be our receiver coach. These things should be looked at as great things, great opportunities. Pursue coaching. Okay, I advise you all, especially anyone that's black that's listening to this podcast now, pursue coaching. Take any opportunity you can take. A quality coach, like I said, a position coach or a coordinator, you get in the game and you learn it. Don't decline it because it ain't what you was looking for. I've been in the game for 10 years. I'm not being no position coach. I've been in the game for 15 years. I'm not being no running back coach. I'm not being no coordinator. I deserve to be a head coach. You want to see my resume? You have that mentality. You won't get everything you deserve. You may get opportunities that you earn, but you'll also be taken away from things that you could possibly be earning. You'll be taking away more that you could possibly earn if you have that mindset. Okay. So what I'm saying is this here: we as black coaches need, must do, and will do. This is what we need to do to make a change. Seriously, I wrote this down last night and I'm looking on my notepad because I don't want to miss out on giving you this important information. Okay. What we need to do, we must do, what we need to do is to develop upcoming quarterbacks. As a black head coach, we need to get in the mindset of being stuck on what we like or what we do best and try something different. Some of us already doing it, but a lot of us not really doing it. You look at the NFL, there's not a whole lot of black head coaching, black quarterback coaches. There's probably none. There's probably no black quarterback coach in the NFL. I don't know. I could be wrong on this, but I'm talking about all levels here. From Pee Wee to Pop Warner to middle school to high school, wherever you coach in college, develop upcoming quarterbacks. Put together one-on-one private sessions, trainings, and you work with that quarterback. You help them out. You develop them. You work on their game. You help expose them. Hey, damn, who coached that guy? Oh, that's Coach Jones? Oh, he developed that quarterback? Hey, Coach Jones, man, let me get you in for an interview. High school, college, D3, D2, D1. You see what I'm saying? Let's become quarterback coaches. Let's think about becoming quarterback coaches. Man, I ain't never played quarterback. I was an offensive lineman. I was a defensive lineman. I was a linebacker. Okay, get into it. Learn it. Develop it. Study it. YouTube, attend meetings, ask questions. I think Sean McVay was a tight ends coach at one time. He was a tight ends coach, and he don't look like he could be a tight end, but he learned it. He coached it. So as black coaches, become quarterback coaches. Develop quarterbacks, because at the quarterback position, it's the most important position in football. And a lot of these owners, these administrators, that quarterback position is very important. That the quarterback position determines whether you win or whether you lose. So if you can show that you can Work with quarterbacks. You can develop them. I ain't saying you got to have an arm and throw like who, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or whatever like that. But if you can help develop them, work with them a little bit and help them grow step by step by step, you're a quarterback coach. You can become a quarterback coach. Offensive, defensive quality coaches. Become quality coaches on both sides of the ball. Learn the game. Help coaches and help staffs prepare for game days. Go out, let them know what you see on video, what you notice from different opponents. That also helps out. Offensive coordinators, NCAA D1 head coaches. We need a lot more NCAA D1 black head coaches. Now, I don't know what's going on, whether they just not getting opportunity, but I think if we had more NCAA D1 black head coaches, like a Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame, if we had more D1 coaches, I think that would help black coaches get opportunities in the NFL as well to become head coaches. But a lot of D1 head coaches, there's not a lot of black D1 head coaches, unfortunately. That needs to change. All right, so consider becoming an NCAA D1 black head coach. The Canadian Football League. Go to the Canadian Football League. If I'm a black head coach in the NFL and I've been a position coach for all these years and I'm not getting promoted, I'm not getting an opportunity to be a coordinator or head coach, I would like to take my time to the Canadian Football League and become a head coach. Work my way on up, win some championships. The league see what I'm doing. NFL calling me, hey, we see what you did in the CFL. We see what you're doing in Canada. Can you come down and talk to us for an interview? We love what you did with your team. We love how you turn your team around. I would say consider the Canadian Football League, the USFL, the XFL, these spring football leagues. Become head coaches in those leagues as well. Man, ain't nobody watching, ain't nobody looking. You don't know who's watching and looking. Don't make it only about the NFL. Take advantage of head coaching opportunities in these other leagues. Like I said, Canadian League, XFL, USFL. Attend conferences, attend clinics. Like I said, this goes for all black head coaches that wants to become head coaching. Basketball, football, baseball. Even though the topic today is majority football, this is how you get your name out there. Go to these minor leagues, go to these semi-pro leagues and apply yourself to become head coaches. Do it effective immediately. Don't just be stuck on NFL head coach dream, NBA head coach dream, Major League Baseball, minor leagues, travel, become a head coach because everything you do, it goes to your resume. You can always make your way back to the NFL or NBA, by chance to apply yourself for the next opening. But that's what I recommend a lot of black coaches do that wants to really succeed at the next level, meaning college or professional. Try out these different minor leagues. You football, become quarterbacks, develop these quarterbacks. Become a quarterback in your mind, learn it, develop them. What else I got on here? Like I said, attend conferences and clinics. Attend these sports conferences and clinics, baseball, football, football, basketball, hockey, it don't matter. Attend these conferences and clinics, meet people, ask questions, schedule informational interviews, ask all the questions you want, write it down, record it. These are ways to get opportunities to become head coaches for different leagues, not just NFL, NBA, MLB. No, when we're head coaches, as far as the positions, let's look out for the next black head coach. Okay. When we're in head coaching positions as black head coaches, whether we're at the high school level, we're at the D3 college level, D2 college level, D1 college level. Hell, we in the NFL. Are we in the Canadian League? We in the USFL. We in the XFL. Let's look out for other black coaches, other minority coaches, black coaches, anyone that wants to coach. Let's look out for them. Are you trying to say, Clarence, just give them a job? No. Study them, interview them, watch their resume, ask them questions, give them an opportunity. Don't just be so stuck on your kind. If you're a black head coach, you more than likely want to hire a lot of black head coaches. I don't know, maybe not. For me, I'm a black head coach, but I also want to look out for other coaches as well. If I see you working hard, I study your resume, I'm getting great recommendation letters from you, I'm getting great references from you, whether you black, white, orange, pink, or yellow, I'm going to hire you. And I'm going to trust that you're going to do a great job to be my coordinator or to be my position coach. Okay. But we know how hard it is for black coaches right now. It's been like that for years, many, many years. If you're a black head coach and you got the opportunity to be a head coach, give black coaches opportunity to at least interview, see what they're about. I ain't saying hire them because they're black. That's not what I'm saying. But if you see they're black, you know they're in the community, you see them on social media, they competing in these leagues, they coaching at the Pop Warner level, the middle school level, the high school level, and you at the D3, you at the D2, D1 level, you at the top of the game. Give them an opportunity to come interview for your team. Because the more you help them grow, you're going to grow. A lot of time we get in the mind frame of thinking if we help somebody else that look like us, they're going to take our job away. They're going to be better than me. Stop being afraid to help each other. If you're a black head coach, stop being afraid to help another black head coach. Stop thinking the next black head coach is going to take your job. Stop thinking the next minority coach or the next white coach that you hire because you black, he can possibly take your job because he's a minority. He's a Mexican, he's white. If I hire him, he gonna take my job. Don't do that. You know why I don't do that? Because when you do that, you're taking your blessings away that God already have in store for you. That God already have planned for you. You're taking your blessings away when you do that. So don't do that. Please don't do that. Stop thinking the next person is going to take your job. Oh, he looked like me, man. He remind me of me. If I hire him, he's black, he's going to take my job. No. At the end of the day, if you're afraid of losing your job by helping someone, you shouldn't be in the business of coaching or whatever profession that you're in. If you're afraid that someone's going to take your opportunity away, you shouldn't be in that industry. You shouldn't be in that business. So again, all I ask, stop being afraid to help each other out. Stop being afraid to hire black coaches because you black. Stop being afraid to hire other minority coaches or white coaches because you think they're smarter than you, because they look smarter than you. Stop doing that to yourself. You're overthinking it. You're thinking about it all wrong. This is how we create family coaching trees. And this is how we create coaching trees in general, by giving other people opportunities that deserve it, whether they white, black, orange, yellow, pink, it don't matter. This is how you create family trees and coaching trees. Bring on your son, bring on your uncle, bring on your cousin. They love coaching. They've been doing it for a while. Give them an opportunity. Stop thinking that they know, they know more than you. You timid by them. You're afraid. Don't be like that. Help out. Look out. That's how you create the coaching trees, the family coaching trees. Become special team coordinators. Become special team coordinators. Look at John Harbaugh. He started off as a special team coordinator, and look at him now. Coached the Ravens for several years, got a Super Bowl. Now he's the head coach at the New York Giants. Don't be afraid to just be a special team coordinator. That's a great way to get your career started, to be a head coach as well. It's an opportunity to get your foot in the door. You're working with players that's trying to make a name for themselves. That's one thing I love about special teams. You're working with players that want to play more football. They want to play more on the defensive side, or they want to play more on the offensive side. Either way, they want to be part of more plays out there on the field. So don't be afraid to become a special teams coordinator. You could eventually become a head coach as well. Let's not get caught up in the defensive side of the ball. Oh, please don't do that. I only know defense. I'm only coaching defense. Don't do that as a football coach. Expand your knowledge. Challenge yourself to learn offense. You know what I mean? To learn it. Don't be afraid, because if you're stuck on that defensive side, a lot of time, that's why you hear people this week here, oh, a lot of the black head coaches are only defense. You don't hear any black coaches, you ain't heard no take about black coach knowing offense other than Eric Bieniemy. But I challenge you all. Like I said, it don't matter what level you coaching at. Don't just be so stuck on defense. Learn all three phases of the game. You can be the coach any position. That way, you always give yourself a chance to get in the door, to be in the door, to be in an interview, to be in a room. All right. So don't just be stuck on that defensive side. I know you love defense. You love the blitz and send your presses. All that. I get it. You love to get those interceptions. You love to do your zones and your covers. I get it. But challenge yourself on the other side of the ball as well. Because you come in that interview knowing both sides of the ball, that can get you opportunity to be a head coach as well, especially when you got proof to show it. If we don't know, like I said, if we don't know offense, let's learn it. There's YouTube, there's clinics. We can call coaches. We can be part of conferences all over the world, online, in person. We can be in person events. We can schedule informational interviews. There's so much ways to learn what we don't know in the game of football, even in the game of sport. No matter what sport it is, if you want to learn it, these are things you can do. Like I said, attend these meetings. Actually be a part of practices. Hey, can I come out and watch your practice? Can I check you out? Hey, can I ask you why you did that or why you called that play? That's how you get in the game. Don't just be so stuck on getting the head coach position right away. This is how you get your feet wet. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Let's learn what we don't know. Please, let's learn what we don't know. Don't be afraid to ask questions. All right. Before I close out, I want to talk about a few more things that before I close out. Super Bowl 41. I think another thing that will help us black coaches in the NFL if we had more Super Bowls like Super Bowl 41. Super Bowl 41 was Colts Bears. And there was history behind the Colts Bears Super Bowl 41. That was Lane Kiffin. I'm saying Lane Kiffin. I apologize. That was Tony Dungy versus Lovie Smith, the first two black coaches to compete in the NFL, coach in the NFL. They were the first black coaches to coach in the NFL against each other, Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith. All right. And Tony Dungy ended up becoming the first black head coach to win a Super Bowl. If we had more Super Bowls like Super Bowl 41, I think that will also help more black head coaches, more black coaches become head coach in the NFL. If there were more Super Bowls like Super Bowl 41. Because think about it. We've had a few black coaches, black quarterbacks. We had the, who was it? Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes. We got them twice. So, it's starting to be a thing where black quarterbacks is now more accepted. Owners, coaches trust black quarterbacks to run their team. It's more accepted than black head coaches being trusted to say, hey, you can run my team. So I still think it's an unbalanced. Now, is the black quarterbacks where it needs to be at in the NFL? No, but it's a lot better than what it was 15, 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. It's not where it needs to be at, but it's a little bit better. Now, on the black head coaching side, it still needs to be up there. There's been little to no growth at all when it comes to more black head coaches in the NFL. So that's what I'm saying. If we had more Super Bowls like Super Bowl 41, along with more retired players that played in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s that retired and became coaches, they were good, they were solid, and they decided to create a family coaching tree, bring on their sons, bring on their other coaches, bring on their uncles or bring on their cousin, whoever, in-laws. That's how you create a coaching tree. If we had more of that, I think a lot of black head coaches will be hired in the NFL. But without more Super Bowls like Super Bowl 41, without family coaching trees, without retired players getting into coaching and laying out the blueprint to coach their sons or to coach their daughters or other black coaches or other minorities, without that going on, it's going to be like this, where it's not going to be enough black head coaches being hired in the NFL. According to, like I said, the Super Bowl, why I don't think the Rooney Rule, because in the Super Bowl now, now that the Super Bowl is going on, and a lot of black head coaches, not a lot of black coaches has not been hired. A lot during the Super Bowl week. I've been listening to a lot of media a lot of media platforms this week, the Super Bowl week, and a lot of topics coming up is black head coaches. Black head coaches not getting opportunities, and the Rooney Rule came up. And a lot of people, I heard a few people say, even on social media, hey, they should ban the Rooney Rule. Now, if you don't know what a Rooney Rule is, let me sum it up for you. I don't have the terminology in front of me, but I'm going to give you what just to sum it up in a short term. It's an opportunity for minorities and black head coaches to be a part of interviews with teams. It gives the black head coach it gives the Indian coach, the Mexican coach, the minority coaches the opportunity to speak with teams. Not saying that's a guarantee hire, but it gives black head coaches, minority coaches opportunities to get an interview, possibly get a second interview. So while some is on board to say, hey, that's ban the Rooney Rule, I even saw black people saying that. And I'm like, no, you don't do that. You know, you don't do that. And I get it. And I've been seeing some non-black people say it, ban it because they pissed off. They don't like the fact that black head coaches being treated this way. So they're like, what's the use of having the Rooney Rule? The reason why I don't want to ban the Rooney Rule, because I feel like if the Rooney Rule was banned tomorrow, heading into next year or years to come, I feel like minorities, black coaches would never get no chance at all to not even have a sit-down interview. So if the Rooney Rule was to be banned, I feel like that will shut down the whole opportunity for a black head or a potential black head coach candidate to talk to any team. The Rooney Rule keeps teams in check. Is it perfect? No. Does the Rooney Rule needs to be better? Hell yeah. Is it terrible right now? Very terrible. But I like the Rooney Rule because it still gives black coaching candidates, black coaching candidates that wants to be head coaches, it gives them the opportunity to still speak with teams. Even though they may not get hired, they still have the opportunity to walk in, introduce themselves, talk about what they achieved, present their resume, present their philosophy. You ban the Rooney Rule, they're not even getting a call. They're not even getting an email. They're not even getting a sit down. So I get it. Some may be mad because the Rooney Rule is just so weird right now and it's messed up. It's not fair. It's like a check off. Hey, we interviewed 2 or 3 black coaches. That's all it takes. We're going to hire our white coach. That's how a lot of people feel like it's been happening in the league. Because the Rooney Rule required that you interview, I think, at least 2 or 3 minority candidates, at least 2 or 3 black head coaches. At least, I think it's like between 1 and 3. You got to at least interview them. You ain't got to hire us, but you got to interview us as black or as minority. So the Rooney Rule say you must interview at least 1 to 2 to 3 minority black, head coaches before you can hire the coach that you want. And I can get why some people that's black, some people that's not black are just saying, hey, man, F all that. It's just a check off. It's not real. It's just a script. Teams already know who they're going to hire. So just ban the Rooney Rule because it's worthless. I get your anger. I get that you're pissed off. But the reason why I can't agree with you, because like I say, if that happens, if they ban it, black coaches not even getting an opportunity to speak, to present themselves, to even talk to a team, to, display their resume, display their philosophy. So let's keep the Rooney Rule. Let's make some adjustments and go from there. All right. That's all I got. Like I said, it's Black History. I want to talk about that. A lot of information. I think an hour and some change today. I never go this long on podcasts, but it's Black History Month. And I had a lot of information on how I think we need to look at certain things when it comes to us black head coaches, getting opportunities, applying for opportunities, whether we're at the, like I say, low level to the highest level, the fundamental level. It don't matter what type of coach you're doing at each level. Eventually, if you're taking it serious and you see yourself as a coach, people talk great about how great of a coach you are. You want to give yourself an opportunity to advance and be promoted. And this is just a blueprint, my thoughts and ideas on how I think we should look at things and view things. I'm not telling you how to think as a black coach. I'm not telling you how to feel as a black coach. I'm not telling you how to think as a black man. I'm not telling you how to think as a black woman. I'm not telling you how to think and feel as a black man. I'm not telling you how to think and feel as a black woman as a coach. I'm not telling you that. I'm just giving you my experiences, what it did to me, and what I think that could work if we can do these things, what I think we're lacking. That's why we're in this situation that we've been in for many, many years. And that's all it is. I'm not telling you how to be black or how to act and how to talk. You do it the way you want to do it. And at the end of the day, like I said, the only person you got to answer to is God, just like me. So I'm not going to sit on this platform and tell you how to be a black coach or how to talk as a black coach or what to do as a black coach. I'm only giving you suggestions, thoughts, ideas, recommendations, and I'm telling you my experiences, things that work for me and things that didn't work for me. Like I said, I'm blessed to have my LLC, Player Progression Goals. I'm able to work with athletes all over the world, in New Mexico, outside of New Mexico, help them get into college, help them handle so much things that are going to be a part of their career, from money to relationships to you name it, peer pressure. I mean, it comes, family drama, all this, I'm able to put together a platform, an LLC. You got skinny people that just all about money, how to deal with friends, how to make decisions, from social media, all the bad, all that. I'm teaching that in my LLC. I'm able to work with athletes to help them be better athletes at their next level. I'm helping them succeed and helping them advance in their career. I'm not promising them that they'll make it to the NBA or the NFL or MLB. That's the goal, but I'm not making any promises. My job is to help them grow and help them succeed. And if I can do that with one athlete, I'm happy. I'm blessed. I thank God. So I'm thankful to be in the position that I am. Like I said, years ago, when I started my coaching career at 21, in my 20s, I would be mad and be pissed off, and I would pull the race card. I would pull the victim card, and because I'm black, and I'm thankful to God that I've been able to get out of that zone and be in a much better zone for me. All right. Thanks again for downloading. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your support. Remember, I say it's a two-way street, not a one-way street. Follow me on social medias. I'll follow you back. Twitter X @_Clarence Jones, Instagram _Clarence Jones, YouTube Clarence Jones TV, playprogressgo.com. Holler at me. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I'll be having a blog on this as well. So be on the lookout for 2 of my blogs. I got a blog coming out about this same episode that I'm talking about now. And I also got a blog on my Super Bowl prediction. I'm giving you my winner and my score. Thanks again for listening, tuning in. Happy Black History Month. Educate yourself, educate others. I educate myself every day, especially during Black History Month. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to be better. Don't be afraid to teach. Don't be afraid to hire. Don't be afraid to help each other. Don't be afraid to ask questions. God bless. Peace.